Right, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you a beginner's user-friendly guide on how to import your files and edit on a basic level in the Insta360 Studio app. So first of all, we need to import some media clips, and there's a few ways to do that. As you can see at the top left, which is highlighted yellow, this is from importing from your computer. As you can see here, we can click the Open Files, or in the middle of the screen, the plus icon, and that'll send you straight to the files which is on your computer. So that'll be the first way to import the files from your computer, as I've just explained. The second way is to plug your 360 camera directly into a USB port on your computer, and then you can transfer the files straight off your camera that way. The other one is the cloud, and then the ones on the right there is just from your favourite files. So now I've hit the Open Files icon there to the left, and it's brought me to my Insta360 X5 footage. So I'm just going to click and drag some across there, and I'll show you how to edit on a basic level. And just before you drag your clips across, always ensure that you drag the VID, the video file, that's the high resolution file, and not the LRV, because every time you film with a 360 camera, each clip's going to have two files, a low resolution, the LRV, and a high resolution, the VID. So just ensure that the clips you drag across are the VID files. We'll just drag all these clips over here. Then I'll set some keyframes for you. So now you can see that I've imported some files across, and all you do is double click on the file that you want, and then it's going to bring it up in the main big screen here. And then the first thing you've got to do is set your keyframes. So when you first open your clip, the video's paused from standard. There's no automatic play there. And then you've got to decide where to set the first keyframe. And when you set your first keyframe, that's going to lock the position of the camera where it's facing. So let's just do a quick demonstration of me here going down this slide. So the first shot I want is of the slide when the ramp goes up, so we can reveal the actual chute there. So to set the keyframe, just right click once, and then a yellow icon is going to appear down on the timeline there. And now when I hit play, that's just going to stay locked in front, as you can see. But I want to change the angle all the way down the chute. So let's start from the beginning again. And then when I hit play, as the bridge comes up and it pushes me down, and now I want to slowly rotate that round to me. So I'll pause the footage, and then I'll scrub across. To me, looking like I'm having a great time there. And then we'll zoom out, and to zoom out and in on a quick scale, you just use the mouse roller, forwards and backwards there, as you can see. So we'll pull right out so we can get all the inflatable in the shot, which is about there. And now I'll hit that second keyframe. So I'll hit that just as I'm centre frame there. Again, hit the right mouse key, and now we can see we've got two keyframes. So now from the first keyframe, as I scrub through to the second, that's going to start panning round to me just as we come down the slide there to get a great reveal shot, which is quite good. And now as I'm rolling into that corner there, I'm going to spin that round, and I want that angle. So now I'm going to hit the third keyframe, right clicking again, and now we'll play it from the beginning to see what that looks like. So just as I'm going down the chute here, it's panning around to me, and now on that third bend, as you can see, everything looks quite good. And we'll just get back to that third one. So now as I'm coming around this corner, I'm going to have the camera rotate into the front. You can do that around here. So scroll that round. Say around there. So now I'll hit that fourth keyframe, right click again. And now we'll have a look. We'll scrub past from the third to the fourth. You see that's going to start slowly turning around. So now I'm approaching the end of the track. I'll set the fifth and final keyframe so it turns around to me. I'll zoom in a bit this time. Again, this is just for demonstration purposes. You can do what you want with this 360 footage, but this again is just a basic user-friendly tutorial. So now I'm going to set that fifth and final keyframe. And now let's play it all the way from the beginning to see how that works. So again, we've seen how we import the clip from the computer. Then you double click the left mouse, which brings it up on the big screen, which we're doing with the first clip here. And now we've manipulated all that clip with the keyframes there. We've had to add 5 in for this one. Now if this water slide was a lot longer, we'd probably have 10 or more keyframes. But it's just a short one, so these 5 keyframes will do. Now let's hit play and see what happens. As you can see, that's a lot smoother than it. We've got a little bit of creativity there. So as you can see, that was just a quick demonstration. And again, you can put as many keyframes in there as you want. But do keep in mind, as you set keyframes closer together, the footage will be a lot more jerky, as it's going to move that camera around a lot more quicker, as you just seen on that last one. And then each time you set a keyframe, you can also left click it, and then it brings up some other options here. So you can change the field of view, and I'll do that right now to show you. So we've been in Mega this whole time, so you can set it in Ultra, D-Warp or Linear, and then you can even set it into a crystal ball. Don't know why you'd use that one. But then also the old famous Tiny Planet, which is quite hilarious on some rides, to be fair. So if I click the Tiny Planet now, as you can see, it's made that last keyframe into a tiny planet. And then the other keyframes are going to be just set as you did previously. So if I just play that from the 4th to the 5th, you'll see that's going to roll into the tiny planet, which looks rather crazy, as you can agree. And now I've imported this other clip. It's me on a zip line at Gulliver's Kingdom in Matlock Bath, the United Kingdom. And here I've got it on my chest harness. So if I zoom all the way out, that just looks terrible. And if I zoom all the way in, it's not so good either. This is just a different point of view on the chest harness. At the bottom of the screen here, when you've got your clip uploaded, we've got the mark starting point, and then we've got the end point. And now this is just this part here at the front, and then this part at the end. So if I just play this clip without any keyframes in at the moment, I'm just going to get this clip exactly where I want it to start setting them keyframes. So he's just strapping me in at the moment, so I don't want it from here. I'm going to wait till I get to the top of the ramp, which is just up this section. So I'm going to start the video just as I'm about to jump off. So let's say from about here, so I'll pause it. And now I'll press this button here, and this is going to mark the starting point. So it's going to cut all this part out, as you'll see. So it's chopped it right to the beginning point. Now this is where I want it. And that's actually quite a good angle for me leaping off. So I'm going to set that first keyframe. So again, right click. And now when I press play, the camera's going to be fixed on that point as I jump off, as you'll see. So I'll just hit play now. That's me jumping off. My son's down there trying to run in front of me, and he nearly runs into someone just there. It looks quite funny. It's looking a bit messy at the moment, so we'll stop it there. We're just getting in front. Right, so we've got that first key point there, and as we just jump off, I now don't want my head in it, for instance. But because it's on a chest harness, we don't have much room to play. If it was on the invisible selfie pole, which they wouldn't allow me to hold, it would have been some really good perspectives, but as you can see, it's just on the chest harness, so I'm going to look a bit strange here. So just for fun, let's use that clip. So now I'll right click for the second keyframe, and then now when I rewind it, now press play, just as I jump off. You gotta laugh playing some of these back. And again, that looks really weird. So we're not going to have some great perspectives on this. We're just doing it for fun, and you can use your creativity. If you was to be allowed on there with the selfie pole, this would look loads better. So now let's just look at the floor, for instance. I'll zoom in, just get my feet in shot there. So on the third keyframe now, let's click that one. And then we'll start it from beginning and have some fun with this. So let's press play. As I jump off, it's turned back to me, looking like an ant or something. And then it's straight back to the floor there. And that's the best view actually. And as we get round, we'll set that fourth key point. Let's get all my body in again. So we'll pull back. Looking like Stretch Armstrong. Now I'll hit that keyframe from there. And now when I play from looking at the floor, it's going to look up slightly in front. Again, it's not the greatest perspective, but there we go. And back down. We'll set the fifth and final keyframe here. Let's have a look. So as we're coming round, again, let's keep it in front. So we'll scrub through, zoom in a bit, and hit it there. So now when I play from this one, the fourth keyframe to the fifth, it just spins around just as I'm coming into land, and we get to see the landing there. Right, so I'll play that from the beginning. Let's just see if we're happy with it. Right, so I'll play that and we'll go through the keyframes here. It's going to be very fisheye distorted because it's on a chest harness. Again, they wouldn't let me use that selfie pole, so I couldn't get the perspective I want on this. But again, just for demonstration purposes, you can set these key points wherever you want. But that went well in the end anyway. And then when you've set all the keyframes, you can hover over one, left click it, and then you can edit it even further. Just for an example there, you can turn it into a crystal ball. I'm not sure why you'd use that one, but some people do. And then the all famous tiny planet, which is going to look rather strange because that's on the chest harness. It's best to use that tiny planet when you've got it on that invisible selfie pole. And then we can go into mega view, ultra view, de-warp and linear. So there's lots of field of views we can choose from, and also that tiny planet's a great feature when you're manipulating your clips there. So that was just a user-friendly beginner's guide on how to edit in the Insta360 Studio. Now this is on Windows, but it's going to be the same principle across other platforms. So in future videos I'm going to be showing you what all these icons do at the bottom, as well as all these tabs on the side. I'll be really doing some in-depth tutorials for you, so you're really going to know how to navigate and edit inside of this Insta360 Studio. But for now, thanks for watching, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and bye for now.